Hello everyone, it is Christine here and I am back to work on Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, and the prompt that we've got for the month of April, which is to make a bag or bags. So it can be any sort of bag that we want. I happened to see the video last night before I went to bed and I think my mind was whirring creatively all night. I already had an excited mind from something else that I'll talk to you about as we're going through today's video. So I've got three ideas at the moment. One of them sort of a bigger idea, and then the other two are sort of smaller ones. So my ideas are to create something useful for my craft room, and that is an embroidery hoop and an embroidery frame holder bag. So what I'm thinking, and I'll come back to that in a moment because I'll talk through my other ideas, but something essentially to hold this collection of hoops, and I've actually got some other ones which currently have work in them, as well as something to hold my beautiful square frame that I got at the Fleur Woods workshop. And this is also going to have a bit of a Fleur Woods inspiration as well. So that's the bigger idea that I've got. This next one is a little practice zippered pouch using the resist dyed fabric. Sorry, I'm just reaching down. That I created recently. These are just two pieces of it. These were the ones that I created in the video, but I've got other bits that I'd created before I did the video. So this one has little bird prints, which I'm really wanting to get stuck into printing because they've not got the full shape of the bird. So really keen to get stitching. Did I say printing? I meant stitching. And then these lovely leaf shapes. So I thought I could make a little zippered pouch, partially because I've got this massive bag of zips that I got in one of my vintage and other stash hauls that I got, and I've never used any of them. I think in my head I've got this idea that putting zips in things is a bit tricky. So my aim is to do a little practice one and also at the same time have some fun stitching into this and to create a pouch with it. So that will be one thing that I work on. And then I thought I'd make a little doggy bags bag. So I won't go into it in detail, but the bags that you need to take when you walk a dog so you can pick up after your dog. And I thought I could make a cute little bone shaped one with a little slit opening at the top where the bags can come out, and then either little magnetic or little press stud closures to put the little roll bags into it. So that will be a smaller project as well, and I thought I could do it as a little scrappy, scrappy slow stitch style little doggy bone bag. And so that's where the roll of bags would sit in that middle section. And potentially I could also do a little snack dog bag. I was thinking if I could put some sort of waterproof interior, because Travis was trained with treats, and I still have treats out on the walk with him, so that I can reinforce the really good behavior. He's a very good dog, but he hasn't grown out of having the treats. But the one I want to work on first, because it is going to be, I think, a bigger project because of how I want to approach it, is the embroidery hoop and frame bags. So what I am thinking, and I've made a little prototype to show you. It's not a particularly good prototype. It's not stitched together. It's just being held with the little applique pins. K3N looking at you there. And so I'm thinking I'll have one bag which will hold the square frame that I've got here. And then I'll either have this other little round bag to hold the round frames attached on the front, or possibly with a little loop or something that means it can go on the front, or if I'm traveling with it, it can actually fit down into this other bag. Now I'd need to make this one a bit thinner and this one a bit thicker, so it's not totally sort of to dimensional size, but that's the thinking. And I would need to put a little zip across the top here. So that would be how that happens. And then this one could either be an open bag, because I'm also thinking I've seen some lovely ones where they make a little gathered fabric sort of dust protector to go around the outside of the frame. So that might be something I do, but otherwise I'd probably put a zip across here. as well. I'm pretty sure in my bag of things I've got some decent sized zips. Yeah, this one would definitely fit across the top of the bag and probably be too big, so I'm sure there'd be some in this. And if anyone in Melbourne needs some zips, hit me up, because unless I could get really carried away making bags and pouches after this foray, but I think I've got quite a good stash. So zips and wood. And I'm thinking for this particular part of the little round hoop bag, zippered bag, I want to do a Fleur Woods inspired stitchery on the front. Now let me just grab the most beautiful book in the whole wide world, which is the Fleur Woods, The Untamed Thread. Now I've done a book review on this. Sorry, I'm just taking out. It's got a beautiful message from Fleur in the front of it, which is so lovely. And yeah, I just adore Fleur's work. If you've seen my recent videos, I was able to participate in her art retreat of one whole week just a few weeks ago, and worked on these amazing textured pieces, and I'm still having so much fun. My textured practice is just continuing to evolve and grow, and I found some other texture artists that I'm experimenting with some of the things I've seen in their works, and just working out my own way to create them. But Fleur also just does these most fabulous stitched floral pieces. Let me just flip and find a few to show you. So even like this, but then some of the ones that I really want to take inspiration from are some of the really intensely stitched ones. So we will find them. If you don't subscribe to her Instagram, it's well worth having a look. She just posts the most inspirational things, even a tub of wools and threads that she has at her house. So yeah, just this really beautiful thread painted, intensely thread painted, that I would like to have a play with. And I was kind of looking at how she does it. She obviously draws and paints things on and then stitches into them. But I'll come back to it in a moment. I had something sitting around that had a bit of a mishap in the wash. Also had some stains on it, which I'm thinking I can use as my base. So yeah, doing the sort of the weaving, thread painting, knots and textures and all sorts of, I just think it is absolutely, absolutely beautiful. So I'm pondering, and we'll get to it in a moment, whether I end up sort of painting the background of what I'm going to work into, or whether I do try and get to a point where I'm covering the sort of the whole surface. Let me see if I can find one of the ones where it's sort of, isn't that one of the beautiful bags of wools? When we're at the workshop, she actually had a bag that we could pull from and then make these beautiful sort of matted pieces. So yeah, here it just sort of ends up covering so much of it. She's even incorporated other little pieces there. Again, you can do some stitching, or you can just go really, really crazy with the amount of stitching that you do. Probably missed some in the mix. But that's definitely going to kind of provide the inspiration. And so I had this tablecloth. Now, I think it was just like a Kmart or a Target tablecloth. I was looking online and I don't think they have it anymore, but I put it through the wash, and I'm not sure if you can see it here. I put it in with this lovely silk robe that I've had for so many years. I remember when I first got it, it used to put out some colour, so I used to wash it separately. I washed it recently and thought, nah, it's not going to put out any colour. I'll throw the tablecloth from the dining table in with it. But it did. And so this has got now taken on a pinky orangey tinge to it. Now, I'm sure I could potentially bleach it and try and get it out. But I've actually got a couple of these tablecloths. And this one has a few other little bits of staining on it. So I've decided to use that as my base because it reminded me when I was looking at it of how Fleur draws out her shapes and her flowers. I'm not as confident at doing that sort of drawing side of things, so I thought this would take away a bit of the a bit of the stress around that and give me a base to work from. But then really to add elements to it, I want to do some little open gumnut flowers here, for example. So really just, taking a bit of inspiration from it. And so the size I'm thinking of making my round bag prototype, very bad prototype, but hopefully gives you an idea, is using this frame. I think these I got again from maybe Kmart or Target, and they're meant to be, I think, like for putting decorations, little garlands and things on. And I've had it sitting with my other hoops, and I thought, oh, that'd be a good size because it fits my largest vintage hoop within it. And given I'm also going to make a bag as well, if there was anything that I got that was a bigger one that was more this sort of size, then I can always put it in the bag that I'll have for the frame. So that's the size, but I'm planning to use this frame to work in. This is the frame that Fleur gave us at the workshop. And what I've done is taken a piece of the wool blanket that I got when I was up in Alpine, Victoria. It's someone's either school or Cubs or Scouts blanket, I reckon, because it's got their name written on it. And it's just lovely and soft. It's all been freshly laundered, so it smells great, and it's really easy to stitch into. So, but it gives a bit of structure to the tablecloth, which is, I mean, it's got a decent weight to it, but it's not super thick, so it will just help to give some structure, because with the Fleur's style of stitching, you're putting lots and lots of stitches on. So at the moment, all I've done is cut out a piece of the tablecloth with the design that I wanted to be at the centre of my circle, which is essentially this one here. And then whether I end up stitching these ones as they are on the design, or covering it, for example, with knots and with weaving and with other things. So that's all still open to possibility as I work through. I think my starting point will be to work on the central elements and then look at what I want to add to it. The other possibility is I just stitch the central and then leave these other bits unstitched, or maybe just outlined around. For the other bag, at this stage, I'll see how much and how long this takes. It may well be that the other bag is just made with just the fabric as it is, or I could apply some paints to it. I'll just start with the front one and then we'll sort of go from there, because I think if I work out the colour schemes on this one as well, that can potentially flow through to the bag that I'll make for the frame. But I think that bag for the frame, I'll follow a similar approach so that I get a nice weight, and having the wool on the inside will be really great just for providing a nice surface for the frames to, or the hoops to sit against. So we need to select some colours for this. So Proteas are an Australian native, and that's what's in the centre design here. So I've just pulled up Google and popped images into it so we can have a look at some Proteas together. Now what I love is that some of them have just really beautiful variation in the colours of them. So I'm going to be able to play around from this sort of pale yellow through to pinks, even in the centres of them. See, this one I just think is lovely, going from greens through yellows through pinks. Or you can have ones that just sort of graduate through the pinks. That's a bit more of a artistic interpretation, but shows you, I guess, how you can play around with different colours. And I can even play with adding some of the petals as fabrics as well as stitching also, which I guess, if you're doing it in that more sort of slightly abstract interpreted sort of sense. That one's lovely. Hopefully you can, I think you can see. So it's just good if you are stitching something to kind of have a look at the colours in nature. Also looking at the leaves. That one's very vivid, but then it does have that sort of that variation. So when I'm stitching, I'm going to want to have that sense of that differentiation of colour up the petals. So some of them have quite light tips around them, also where the light catches them. That's a pure white one. So the lighter up the top. Again, that sort of that yellowy through to the really intense. And then again with the leaves, thinking about when I'm doing them, like where will they be lighter, where will they be darker? So where are they lighter, where are they darker? And I've got a book on thread painting, so I might pay heed to that as well. But even looking at, again, oops, did we just lose that one? Where has that one gone? So I thought that, oops, thought that one was going to be quite good to look at. Or even just looking at some more painted ones, you get that sense of that, again, that variation and how to achieve that variation in your thread painting. Lost that one that I was looking at, it must be further up maybe. So yeah, I'll have something like this open when I'm working on my piece, just to keep giving me inspiration. But I'll use it also as I'm starting to pick some colours for my piece. So I thought we could have a bit of a rifle around in my seriously overstuffed. These wools are so overstuffed that I had to decant them into another drawer, because the drawer of wools is totally to the top. So I'm just going to pull out some things and put them here. So this one's lovely. It's got some other random, oh excuse me, sneezes. This one's got some beautiful variation in it, so I think that one will be super to work with, because it sort of melds from those the lightest pinks through to more intense pinks. And then again a little random bit for the Orts jar, some more beautiful lovely pinks there. Put those there, that's I think part of that. All of these are vintage second, I haven't bought any of my wools new, so these are all second-hand ones. There's a lighter one, that's got a little bit more purpley pinky colour in it, but I think it's all definitely workable. And some more. It's just so lovely having these sorts of things out. Now that's a perle type thread, so I'm going to relocate that to the perles. And this one's more in the purples, but I'm going to keep it out because you just never know when you start to look at them together. They actually look pretty good. It's another one. And then this is an even more intense one than that. When you look at them apart, you think, oh, maybe they're the same colour, but no, they are different. And then I've got a little, oh no, these are attached to this one. I really need to get these all wound off onto cards or something, or given a proper tidy up, I think. Is that, nope, all different again. Are those the same? Possibly, or just slightly different. And then, actually I should do them like this, where they do get a bit nicher until you start taking things out. Again, I think that's a different colour. So that's some of the pinks, and there's some more pinks, some nice light pink there. Let's have a little rifle into here. That's the more into the blues. So I'm just rifling in my other one to see if there are some more. That's a pink. There's some more pink here. This one has some yellows into pinks, so I wouldn't even mind. I don't think I'll use the bluey bits of it, but that could be indeed useful. And then there's a very intense pink, but we'll put it out. So it's over here. I think that's, oh yeah, no, that's more bluey purple, so we won't keep that one out. And then for our greens, got quite a lot of different greens. So we'll be working out what's the sort of, what's the colour family. And I've also got on this same iPad, I've got a useful, was it there still? Yes. It's an Adobe colour, and you can pick different types of colour sets and then look at how they work together. And so you can pick, for example, and I haven't worked out exactly how it works, but you can move it around till you find, so if I want this colour to be the sort of the protea colour, for example, like that, and then you get to start to see the colours that are complementary to it. And so you might look at something like that and go, that's starting to be the right sort of colour tones for that. So I thought I'd have a play around with this. So that's Adobe Colour, coloradobe.com. But there's a lot of them. Annie Claxton, when she was doing her Colour Inspirations journal, she shared some really good apps, so I'll check those ones out too. So yeah, lots of greens, including right to the darker greens. Don't need the purple. We'll disentangle the purple. We'll put the bit of pink over with our pinks. But we'll definitely have plenty of greens to choose from. There's a bit of embroidery thread, so let's put that back where that belongs. Got some more vibrant greens, which I don't know if I'll need, but you just never know. And then there's some greens into some pinks, but I think that's more a bluey green, so I don't think that's as much of a goer. Those could be okay, but verging a bit more on the Painter's Threads collection. So it's got a whole lot of different colours in it. I might keep that for a more special application. These ones are quite a bit thicker. They'd be good actually in my texture projects. I'm going to throw those down for the texture projects. It's definitely more of a khaki, so I don't think that's a goer, but I'm going to put it over here just in case we want to go into that colour scheme, but I don't think so. That's a beautiful variegated Karlund yarns, but I think that's one I got second hand, but I've also got my beautiful Karlund yarns little sample threads as well. So that's another green. So that gives me a bit of a start. And then I've got another, I seem to have another drawer. Yes, I do have another drawer of how this is ridiculous. That's why when I was recently looking at Purveyor of Reclaimed Textiles, I thought, no, I really don't need any more. Now these are, I think I looked them up and they're a synthetic riolis. They're a bit thinner than the other ones, but I might keep those out because they might be good just to add some more little dimensional elements. Isn't that lovely? It's got a lovely variation, even just a, it feels like it's a beautiful, I'm not sure what type of wool that is, but that's lovely. That's going through quite a bit darker, but I'll get it out because you never know. Some more greens there. I think those, oh no, not quite the same. Again, some more khaki ones. But I'll get them out because it'd be good to kind of sort these a little bit by colourways anyway when I put them back into the tubs. Some more khaki. Some more. It's a lighter greeny blue. Another green. Another bit of green. and I've spotted another one down there. So yeah, no shortage of greens if I'm wanting to work in wools, and I thought this would be lovely to do some work with wools, but I probably will use a variety of things as well. And then I've spotted a few more pinks, although that's more purpley colour, so no to that, yes to this, nice light pinky colours. And then yes, and then these are more into the intense, almost heading over to a sort of a burgundy, but they could work. Some more pinks. Definitely no shortage. Definitely don't need to go out and buy any. It's amazing what you can get secondhand. But yes, definitely I don't think, Christine, you need to be looking at any more secondhand wools for a while. So that's those ones. I've then also got lots of lovely perle, and I was thinking some of these Brazilian embroidery threads. I think I pulled these out to take up to the art retreat with Fleur, so I'll keep these out because they're loose and they could be really beautiful. They've got some nice greens in there. There's a tassel as well. Who knows, I could even stitch the tassel into the piece. So they could be delicious. And then so many. I won't get them out because I feel like I'm getting a lot on the desk, and it'd be nice probably to start looking at and selecting from the wools before I get stuck into selecting from these other threads. But even ones like this, I think this is this a silk? It doesn't say. It feels like a silk. And this could be lovely for adding little accents. So I've got all of those, and then I've got all my regular embroidery flosses. Just got so many. So I've got 2 full drawers of those, and then I've got crochet threads as well, and then I've got thicker tapestries, and then I've got these lovely wool samples from Karlund yarns, or ones that come in a flourish of their mill ends. So probably these will end up being too thick for the piece, but you never know. If I'm coming to do some decoration around the outside, some of these more textural pieces could be fabulous. As I say, I'm loving working in texture, so I don't even mind if some of the elements of this piece, given it's going to be on the outside of a bag, if they raise up a bit. So I think my first step will probably be to maybe, I don't know if I need to put a few little tacking stitches in to hold the wool to the tablecloth underneath, or if the frame is going to hold it well enough. I think I probably will at least do maybe a little tacking stitch around the outside, one that can easily be pulled out. So that will be the first thing I'll do after dinner tonight, and then I think I'll start having a bit of a play with thinking about the colours for the petals, and maybe that's where I will start, and then I can kind of work from there. And I'll get out my book with painting with thread, which goes through all different flowers. I might even be lucky and they might even have a protea. So I think that's probably enough. I just wanted to kind of give you some ideas, because I know some folks get a little bit stuck when a new prompt comes out, particularly if you don't want to make a bag that you'd wear out as a bag. Maybe you've got some embroidery hoops. Maybe you want to think about making a round bag for them, or a big square bag for your embroidery frame, or a combination with a round and a square one. So if you do, you can follow along with me, and you could obviously use use fabric. You could do it in the slow stitch style, but I think it's going to be really fun to take my flurry inspiration, because the exciting thing that has happened is that I'm now booked into Fleur's 2025 workshop back at the fabulous Green Door Studios. So we were very lucky, those of us that attended with Fleur this year got an early opportunity to book into the workshop, and I have done that, and I am just so excited. It's the best birthday present I could possibly have given to myself, and to think that I've got almost a year to anticipate and to look forward to, and possibly to have a little play with some of the Fleur inspired techniques, but then get Fleur's absolute sort of hands-on, wonderful, nurturing tuition at the actual retreat in a year's time is just going to be amazing. So thanks for watching, and thanks for always encouraging me in my excitement and my passion for this. And just really appreciate all of you, and thanks so much, and have a wonderful day. Bye everyone.